Okay, I'm fascinated by this. I'd requested information. I actually wanted just more or less a summary of the charge details for legal aid, but I got the complete statement of facts, which includes their elaboration on the charge, and I was astonished because I know from going into conversation, even with what I think I had call recording app recording the call as well, because I finally decided, well, Roger Toll will have used mental insanity to say that he did not issue a death threat to me in 2010, to me and my cat. But the sentence here, the defendant admitted to calling O could not provide a reason for doing so. The defendant repeatedly stated he wanted to report corruption in the Health Insurance Commission. Now, what I was taught about Roger Toll having a tremendous, impressive handshake friendship with the AFP while I worked for Capital was astonishing, to the point where I'm even left wondering if it's been used to embellish so-called facts for an arrest. What I reported and have gone into, I've reported it on my channel. I remember the conversation with a policewoman where I was explaining the process that for years under instruction while at Hughes Chemist, I was being instructed to rob the Health Insurance Commission. Not that I held that the Health Insurance Commission was corrupt. Aside from knowledge of the process involved in the monthly submission of a PBS National Health Scheme reimbursement for subsidized medicines by a pharmacy, I don't know anything. And locked bag orange in Victoria, there isn't really anything I know about the Health Insurance Commission. I was reporting corruption in Capital Chemist, and so how fascinating is the statement of facts is inclusive of a reversal, when essentially what's been ignored is, that my claim to have been robbed was legitimate, that my claim to have received a death threat from Roger Toll shortly after leaving Capital Chemist in early 2010, that both of those claims are false claims on grounds of mental insanity, and yet this statement of fact is trying to say that I was calling the Health Insurance Commission corrupt. They're a government agency. I prefer the government to the private sector. Working conditions are much better in the government sector. Getting taught to recycle people's medicines on the Webster Pact scheme system for provision of medicines, so as to stipulate that various packets of medications have been bought and therefore require reimbursement from the Health Insurance Commission to a pharmacy, when that packet was made up of recycled medications from other patients whose medicines were cancelled by their doctor's orders, but since they were on Webster Packs, the supplies were all being held at the pharmacy. I'm talking about corruption within the practices of Capital Chemists, not I don't have the Health Insurance Commission have been ripped off. I'm not calling the Health Insurance Commission corrupt. I've even tried to propose a reason, that a way that they could make sure that private sector pharmacies can never defraud the Health Insurance Commission by making sure that they match their invoices from purchase to their outgoing dispensings of medicines. So I absolutely know that there's false statements in this so-called list of facts